Have you ever picked up your chopsticks or a coffee mug and suddenly felt your hand just was not working right on one side? Or noticed that one leg dragged slightly when you walked up the stairs? Most people chalk it up to tiredness, bad sleep, or simply getting older. But after watching this video, you will never dismiss that feeling again. Because sudden one-sided weakness in your arm or leg is one of the most powerful warning signals your body sends before a stroke. Research shows that more than 80% of stroke patients experienced sudden weakness or heaviness on one side of the body before their stroke occurred. 80%. 8 out of 10 people received this warning, but too many of them waited, thinking rest would fix it, and lost the critical treatment window as a result. Today I am going to walk you through 3 simple self-tests you can do right now, at home, with no equipment. These tests are based on the same neurological principles doctors use in emergency settings to detect early-stage paralysis, and I will explain exactly what to do if your results raise a red flag. Before we get into the tests, understand why one-sided weakness matters so much. The left side of your brain controls the right side of your body, and the right side of your brain controls the left. When a blood vessel in one hemisphere becomes blocked or narrowed, the opposite arm and leg begin losing strength. This is why sudden weakness on just one side, not both, is the critical clue. General fatigue affects both sides equally. A stroke does not. During the early moments of a stroke, complete paralysis rarely appears right away. What appears first is a subtle sense of weakness, clumsiness, or heaviness on one side. That early window is exactly when treatment makes the biggest difference. Every minute after stroke onset, approximately 1.9 million brain cells die permanently. Treatment within 3 to 4.5 hours can dramatically reverse damage. After that window closes, the consequences become far harder to undo. Now let us go through the 3 self-tests. Please stay near a wall or stable surface throughout. Safety is the first priority. The first test is the arm drift test. This is directly based on the pronator drift examination that neurologists use in clinical settings to detect subtle motor weakness. Stand or sit comfortably. Stretch both arms straight in front of you, with palms facing upward toward the ceiling. Close your eyes and hold this position for 10 seconds without peeking. When you open your eyes, observe both arms carefully. If both arms stayed level and palms remained facing up, that is a normal result. If one arm drifted downward or the palm rotated inward toward the floor, without you intending it, that is a significant warning sign. The brain's motor pathways, when compromised, allow the affected arm to gradually lose position, without the person realizing it. Research on this test consistently shows high sensitivity for detecting early hemiparesis. If your arm drops noticeably in those 10 seconds, do not wait to see if it gets better. Act immediately. The second test is the one-leg balance test. This looks simple on the surface, but is a powerful indicator of neurological health. Stand near a wall for safety and lift one foot off the floor. Time how long you can hold the position before losing balance. Test both sides separately. As a general guideline, a healthy person in their 50s should be able to hold for around 20 seconds with eyes open. Those in their 60s should manage 15 seconds, and those in their 70s around 10. However, the most important thing is not the absolute time, but the difference between your 2 sides. If you can balance easily on your right foot, but your left collapses after just a few seconds, that asymmetry is a red flag. A large Japanese study following nearly 1,400 participants found that those who could not hold a one-legged stance for 20 seconds showed significantly higher rates of silent brain vessel damage. A separate study found that people who could not balance on one leg for 10 seconds faced an 84% higher risk of death within 10 years. If today, without prior warning, one side has become dramatically harder to balance on than the other, treat that as an urgent signal. The third test is the grip strength comparison test. Take a towel, a water bottle, or any similar object, and squeeze it as hard as you can with your dominant hand. Then squeeze the same object with the same effort using your other hand. Alternatively, place both palms flat on your thighs and press down. simultaneously feeling whether one side pushes with noticeably less force. Some difference is normal if you are right-handed, but that baseline difference is familiar to you. What matters is a sudden change from what you know. If one hand feels dramatically weaker than usual, if you are dropping objects you would normally hold easily, or if gripping tools or utensils feels unexpectedly clumsy on one side. This abrupt change in grip is a neurological warning. Research published in international medical journals has linked significant asymmetry in hand grip, strength to cerebrovascular abnormalities, and sudden loss of grip force is considered distinct from ordinary muscle fatigue. Here is how to interpret your combined results. If any one of these three tests shows an abnormal result that appeared suddenly today, do not rest and wait. Contact emergency services immediately. Tell them you are experiencing sudden one-sided weakness and suspect a stroke. The specific words matter because they activate stroke protocols, which significantly speed up your care. Beyond the three tests, learn to recognize the other warning signs that accompany one-sided weakness in stroke. These are organized under the B-FAST acronym. B is for balance, meaning sudden dizziness or loss of coordination. E is for eyes, meaning temporary vision loss or a curtain effect in one eye, which we covered in detail in our previous video. F is for face, meaning one side of the face drooping, especially visible when you try to smile. A is for arm, the weakness you just tested. S is for speech, meaning sudden slurring, inability to find words, or difficulty understanding others. T is for time to call emergency services the moment any of these appear. If one-sided arm or leg weakness is accompanied by any one of these other signs, you have even more reason to call for help immediately, and not delay for any reason. When you call, note the exact time your symptoms began. This single piece of information determines whether you qualify for clot-dissolving treatment, which is only available within a specific time window. Never drive yourself to the hospital. Never take aspirin on your own, as it can worsen outcomes if bleeding is involved. To protect your brain long-term, manage the 5 key risk factors that cause strokes. First, control blood pressure, and never stop blood pressure medication without medical guidance. Second, manage blood sugar levels, as chronic high glucose slowly damages vessel walls. Third, lower LDL cholesterol, which builds up as plaque in the carotid arteries. Fourth, stop smoking, since smokers face more than double the stroke risk. Fifth, check for atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat that forms clots in the heart that can then travel to the brain. Start a 7-day action plan today. On day 1, perform all 3 tests and note your baseline on both sides. On day 2, test a family member over 50 and compare results together. On day 3, set up a home blood pressure monitor and measure every morning. On day 4, add a 30-minute brisk walk to your day. On day 5, reduce high-sodium foods like processed soups, sauces, and salty snacks. On day 6, share this video with people in your life who are over 50. On day 7, visit your doctor and ask specifically about carotid artery screening if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol. These 3 tests take under 2 minutes, but the knowledge behind them could be the difference between a full recovery and permanent disability. The body sends warnings before a stroke. Now you know how to read them. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to see it. Leave a comment below with any questions. Your next video is already waiting with more information to keep you and your family protected. Thank you for watching.